Yeah, I was actually watching this podcast. I was just watching this. We can actually delve into it. I was just watching this podcast. I didn't finish it, and it was basically about he's a ketamine doctor, and he was a anesthesiologist. I believe he is an anesthesiologist, and he used to do all like anesthesia work and this, that, and the third. And then they started working with ketamine and anesthesia and the whole surgeries and ketamine and depression, and they've been using ketamine in medical medical uses for the past, I think 5-10 years now, maybe longer, could be wrong. But he was kind of explaining like the uses of ketamine, why they use ketamine, what ketamine would do, why the idea of using ketamine comes into fruition when it comes to depression, when it comes to even surgeries and things like that. And it was really fascinating. It was really fascinating. And these forms of psychedelic drugs, I mean, I guess ketamine is a psychedelic, right? These forms of psychedelic drugs are just so intriguing. They really are, especially in the aspect of like how positively they work for people with mental issues and depression and even CTE, PTSD, these anxiety, sleep insomnia, all these real freaking these serious issues that pharmaceutical medication does not have the answers to. And I've been saying this forever, and some people, it's interesting how some people stand with you strong when you, like, if you say a statement like that, some people will be like, Luke, I fucking 1000% agree with you. Or people will be like, Luke, if I'm being honest, I probably don't know too much about all pharmaceuticals, which is true about me either. That would be ignorant for me to be like, yeah, I know everything about all these drugs. Don't. But it is interesting when people are like completely against you, like, oh, you don't know, like people are born with depression and they need to take drugs. And I just think that's like a misconception or just like a lie or a myth. And I don't want to go full conspiracy and be like, oh, the guys, they want you to be on these drugs, they want you to big pharma, they want you to be all doped up on medication, they want you to be all fucked up in the head. There's a solid argument that is probably what they want you to do, right? They want you to be all messed up on drugs. They want you to be loopy. They want you to be all gray, out of emotion, right? There's a conspiracy behind that. But at the end of the day, those pharmaceutical medications, they just don't really work. They don't solve the problem. They do. It seems as if they can put a Band-Aid on it. They can put a pause to some of the pain or some of the issues, but it doesn't solve the pain. It doesn't clear the issues. It doesn't help the brain in any way. And sometimes it's actually more detrimental because then you can become addicted to drugs and this, that, and the third. And you can, obviously, your brain coming off the drug, you can go through psychotic episodes, getting on and off of the drugs. Few days not taking the medication will really fuck with you because on the medication, you're messing with the chemical imbalance of your brain. So it really is like a serious issue that I feel like is kind of getting swept under the rug. And I think it's a little ignorant for even kids my age. Like, I know kids my age, they won't be taking care of their life. They won't be taking care of their diet, their food. They won't have any passions and they won't have any real goals. They're not really working towards anything, right? They're not going anywhere in life. And then they wonder why they're depressed, why they're anxious, why they can't sleep at night. They don't meditate. They don't exercise. They don't treat themselves with basically respect. And then they wonder why their body and their mind is struggling. And it's not like some crazy equation you got to put together. Like, it's like there's a lot of things you have to do to take care of your body and to try to not go down to that dark, deep path, or even pull yourself out of that, or even realize like, oh, maybe I'm going down here, or maybe like today's a dark gray day and like tomorrow I have to do something to not let this energy ride into the next day, whatever it may be. But I think we've always done this. I always tend to believe that people talk about, oh, people nowadays do this, people nowadays do that. When in reality, people nowadays, like, we've all been like, you know how they say like, oh, we're really sexualized now. Like, yeah, porn is all over the place for sure. I definitely agree with that. But I mean, I think people are actually having sex at a later age than before because of there's a lack of social interaction. There's a lack of real human interaction and contact. So people are actually struggling to have sex at a younger age when they used to. Meanwhile, we think we're living in a hypersexualized world when we kind of are. But like it's always like a twofold argument. Like it's like, oh, nowadays our generation, this generation's weak. Back in the day, it's the same kind of argument. It's like no, like people have been saying that forever. It's like, oh, we have no morals, we have no this. It's like, oh, we live in a dangerous society. It's like, you know what? Life's always dangerous. It's always been the same thing, kind of. That's why history freaking repeats itself. We can't fall into communism. And that's why this COVID shit is so scary, because everyone just wants to wear a mask and listen to Dr. Fauci. Oh my God, now we're going to get shadow banned. I'm sorry. All right, I don't even know where I'm going with this.